Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share messages I get from Spirit and from all of us who are all on this journey to love and to reunite with our divine vibrational matches in this lifetime. And today's message, I'm going to share a channeled letter that I did for a follower. And I'm just going to explain it because I'm going to talk about this letter in this video. Because when I channel letters, I never know what's going to come through. Obviously, it's a channeling. But some of them are really, it's about Spirit always talks in riddles. And so this letter is about bread. And bread is a symbol of faith, wisdom, and also significantly bread, you have to knead it a lot and you have to put a lot of work into it, let it settle, let it rise. And so again, all the symbology even around the bread making process is exactly like what we're doing, with our energy, we're working, we're letting everything settle. And when that, basically in those periods of rest, that's where your vibration can really rise, just like the loaf. So I'm going to read the letter because it's really, really, again, speaks volumes. So this is from her twin to her. And it says, it feels like a lot has happened. There's been a lot of cosmic shifts happening. A high frequency vibration is penetrating the Earth's light crust. Imagine the crust of a bread loaf and a pin pricking it over and over and over again. Eventually, a hole in the bread will appear, and then the hole will get bigger and bigger and bigger, allowing light into the loaf. Well, that's what is happening. Imagine the Earth as a loaf of bread, and the pin as light frequencies constantly hitting our planet and expanding our energy field. Uniting us in our divine mission, uniting us in our divine purpose. We will all eat from the same divine loaf. Okay, so I'm going to read that again. So it feels like a lot has happened. There's been a lot of cosmic shifts happening. A high frequency vibration is penetrating the Earth's light crust. Imagine the crust of a bread loaf and a pin pricking it over and over and over again. Eventually, a hole in the bread will appear, and then the hole will get bigger and bigger, allowing light into the loaf. Well, that's what is happening. Imagine the Earth as a loaf of bread, and the pin has light frequencies constantly hitting our planet and expanding our energy field, uniting us in our divine mission. Uniting us in our divine purpose. We will all eat from the same divine loaf. Right. So basically, my take on that, and the reason why I'm going to explain it is because the lady said, can I explain it? And of course, we all have our interpretations of how, I'm sure everyone will have their own interpretation, but for me, the interpretation of that is that basically, the bread, like I was saying, is about, we are all collectively working our energies. And basically, the more that we are all doing that, we are all collectively contributing to a divine loaf of bread that we're all going to be feeding off, right? Because the loaf of bread is rising. And that is the Earth. So we're all creating this beautiful divine loaf of bread that is rising and rising and rising with all of the work that we're doing. So it is basically just saying that everyone that is on mission, everyone that's on purpose, everyone that is contributing to really living in the essence of who they are really, really contributing to the rise of the planet. So it was a really, again, lovely letter. Because this is what you're doing, with your energy, every day that you are spreading the light, every day that you're living your truth, whatever that means for you, that is how you create an impact, and that is being felt, very clearly. We are all being united in a bigger picture, in a bigger divine mission. And so we all eat from the same loaf, just like Jesus feeds the 5,000 with a loaf of bread, that's what this is saying. As you're all coming on mission, as you're all coming into your divine power, as you're all living your truth and what you're supposed to be here for, then we all eat from the same loaf. So really, really, again, lovely. It's lovely symbology, just amazing. The other thing is I'm going to recommend, along with this letter, because today is all about just remembering what you're here doing, and it's incredible that we're all coming together for a joint purpose, for a joint mission, that we're all like little divine warriors, love warriors on this planet, and that's amazing. And I have recently got into listening to podcasts, and a guy called Rich Roll, who is an ultra athlete. And I'm going to recommend one of his podcasts, because I was listening to a podcast yesterday and I didn't realise, but it was actually with his wife. And she is talking about the importance of ceremony and ritual. And clearly when you hear her talk, she is definitely, they have a divine, partnership. And it's so amazing because everything that she says is just, it's just so on point with all of these messages. And it's actually really lovely to see how their relationship is, because, they're clearly in a divine partnership and they hold space for each other, and to see how they've helped each other grow through the years. They've been married for 20 odd years. And it's really, really lovely, because at the moment, and it just sort of like, and the amazing thing is, right at the end, I was so surprised. She said that she's running basically a retreat, and she's running it in Gozo, which is the place that I'm going back to, and which is the place that I was led to really do a kind of 3 month well, it was longer than that, but it was basically, looking back on it now, it's definitely like my pilgrimage into this twin flame journey, or to my spiritual awakening that happened. And anyway, I would really recommend you watch that, because it's so lovely how their relationship is, and also how they've let each other grow. And that's another thing about this. When you need bread, you need it first and then you let it settle. And when you let it settle, you know that it's rising. And that is the exact same thing, what we're doing for our twins at the moment. We are holding space for them. So I said yesterday or the day before about, where you put your focus. So if your twin is in karmic relationships, you basically hold space for them. You don't focus on the karmic relationship. You hold space for them coming to you in their highest, their highest essence. So that's why blessing all involved in your union, and that includes, all of the people involved in your union, which includes whoever they're with at the moment. That's the way that you basically, you hold a space for them to come to you in the highest vibration. So, when you're focusing on that, you're opening that doorway for them. That's how you help them. Focusing on the relationship they're in is not, that's putting the energy that's putting the energy in the wrong flow. You need to focus the energy on your reunion and them, and holding space for them. So letting them and you rise. You're both rising, right? You're both, no matter what happens in the 3D, no matter what it looks like in this physical reality, you're both working together in the spiritual realms to bring this relationship into a physical, to bring it down from spirit into physical. And so that's why, no matter what it looks like, you have to remember that, because that's the purpose of these relationships. And they are here to break the mold. They are here to, just like this letter says, we are being united in a divine mission. We are uniting in our divine purpose. We will all eat from the same divine loaf. So, there you go. I would really recommend you watch that video or listen to that podcast. I've recommended it at the top because it is really lovely, and also just such a perfect way of when they describe about how she held space for him. he went through a difficult time. He was an alcoholic. So, and she supported him through recovery, and it's just really, really lovely. Really, really just shows what a divine partnership is all about. So I'm just going to pull a card. Look at that. It's the Hierophant. And this is the message today, that, this is what's, and Three of Pentacles, right? So we are creating, the Hierophant is all about tradition. We are changing the way that relationships are built on, the foundations of traditional relationships, right? The Three of Pentacles is around, coming together as a team to create a strong foundation, like you build a cathedral. And this is what this is saying. It's saying, look, we're changing the traditional forms of relationships. And the irony is that these relationships will be more traditional than any other, because we'll be here for sacred love. And sacred love means two people being together because they truly want to be together. They truly want to support each other in their growth, to become the highest version of each other. So I totally understand why this is the energy for today. So I hope that helps. I just thought it was so lovely, and again, such a deep meaning behind it. And I was really sort of blown away when right at the end of that podcast she goes, "Oh, I'm going to Gozo." And I was like, wow, it's exactly where I'm going back to. So we get led, right? We get led to places because they're sacred places, and follow that guidance, follow where you're being led. Where are you being led to? There's always purpose in what we're doing. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I hope you enjoy that podcast. Really inspirational couple, really lovely. So I hope that helps. All right, take care. Bye.